Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Practical Medium. I would like to talk about the empath and the narcissist. So basically how I could get started off with, and I do apologize in advance, I have been under the weather for the past 2 weeks, so my voice is a little iffy right now. So let's get started on talking about it. And of course the spiritual perspective behind it too. So a narcissist is someone who thinks about themselves, someone who is very egotistical, someone who's very condescending, and they want you to think like them. So that's really what the problem is that's going on in today's society is you have the empaths and then you have the narcissists. That's going on from there. And so now the empath is someone who is very high in energy, very high vibrational, and someone who often feels other people's emotions and someone who feels their emotions as their own. And sometimes it'll be hard for them to differentiate, if I said that correctly, their emotions from other people's emotions. And of course, the energy vampires, which goes into the narcissistic category. Now, in that case, not every energy vampire is a narcissist because sometimes they might be vamping off of someone and they may not realize it. So that is what is going on from that moment. So basically, I would like to talk about my experience with an empath and my experience with a narcissist. So an empath, obviously, I explained the definition of what an empath is. So my experience with empaths are various. I met them through clients. I met them through people who I work with at my day job. I met empaths in family. And they're just people that are very high in energy. They really are. They're very high in energy and they feel for others and they're absolutely very kind people. And what's really sad is they can get easily taken advantage of. Now me, I don't know if I categorize myself as an empath. I would say I had empathetic moments, but I wouldn't want to categorize myself as a full empath. I would have to do some more research on myself and maybe a little bit more soul searching before I would actually declare myself an empath or not. Now, here's what I do want to talk about is the narcissists. I ran into many narcissists in my life. I have narcissists in my family. And there is this one narcissistic person that I have in my family in particular who is an uncle of mine. I have talked about him a little bit on my channel. He's the one who brought me into spirituality. But here's the problem with him is that with great power comes great responsibility when you're a spiritual person, right? And of course, I have to know this for myself so I don't end up in that same situation where I become narcissistic. So what went on is that this uncle of mine, and I can tell that he's an energy vampire too. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. I don't know if I don't really know if he really is doing it by accident. But either way, the problem with him is that he's very controlling. He wants people to think like him and he wants to manipulate young people, especially like myself. And that's what he did to me. So that's really what goes on. And the problem with the relationship between an empath and a narcissist is they go hand in hand. And what also is going on with them is that they will often have a very toxic relationship, and sometimes they can even be romantic partners too, an empath and a narcissist. So that's really what's going on from there. But back to what I was saying, my relationship with him is that he is very narcissistic. He only thinks about himself, and he's still like that to this day. I have recently connected with him very briefly now, but I'm not planning on talking to him any further. So that's really what's going on from there. And either way, all I have to say from that moment is, like I said, great power comes great responsibility, and you need to do what's right for yourself and not let other people influence how you think. And that's what's very important. And that's one thing that I would like to say from there. So on that moment, what also happened from that point too is that there's a lot of mental illness that plays a role in narcissistic behavior. Not everyone who's narcissistic has a mental illness, that I would like to say. However, a lot of people that do have mental illnesses can be narcissistic. Now, not everybody with a mental illness, again, not everybody with a mental illness is narcissistic, just like how not everybody who is narcissistic has a mental illness. So that's really what's going on from there. It's kind of like how all turtles are tortoise. What am I saying? Oh my gosh. It's just like how I'm saying that all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. So that's basically, I hope I got that right, but that's basically what's going on from there. And basically what in a spiritual perspective on how to detect a narcissistic behavior from someone is if they only think about themselves, if they tell you how to think and they want you to think just like them, that's the other problem that's also going on too. And this can range either through spiritual beliefs, political beliefs, personal beliefs, and professional beliefs, however that might work. So that's really what's going on from there. So that's really how I would like to say, really protect yourself from a narcissistic person, and especially for empaths, that's where the divine will say, leave the empaths alone. So that's one important factor that I would like to bring up from that point. So back to what I was saying, I just want to say, like, I survived this person. I really have. I often care about my empaths. I obviously, for my business that I run, I make supplies for empaths to protect themselves with. And it can even be a paranormal situation too, where empaths are facing paranormal problems from literal spiritual vampires and negative energies and everything like that. So that's one important factor that I also want to make on that point forward. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is empaths, protect yourselves at all costs. Don't let people tell you how to think. Don't let people influence you in a negative way. And just allow yourself to think freely and follow your intuition, most importantly. So that's really what I can't stress enough. I know I haven't made a whole lot of videos lately, but again, that's because I've been under the weather. I've been very busy with my day job. I've been very busy running a business, of course. So that's really what's going on from there. So that's why I want to make that statement. Again, protect yourself for empaths, and people that are very narcissistic needs to keep their distance, basically. Because the problem is karma is a very real thing, and that's what's going on from there. So other than that, I hope y'all are having an amazing day. Take care and be well.